Hello and welcome to a new video. I thought today I would talk about some of the books on my TBR that specifically are from Kindle Unlimited. So let's just go ahead and dive right into the list. There are obviously basically an endless amount of books on Kindle Unlimited that I would be interested in reading, but these are the ones that I currently have rented or saved to my favorites. The ones I want to read somewhat soon, whatever that means. First off, which I actually do think I will get to this one this fall, that is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Lori Gilmore. This is the sequel to the Pumpkin Pie, what is the other one called? The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So this one is about a different character. It really does not want to focus. There we go. This is about a different character in that town. Don't remember her name, but she owns a bookstore, and that's all I need to know. It'll just be the ultimate cozy vibes, and I actually don't know who the two characters are going to be, but I presume they were both in the previous book. My plan is to reread Pumpkin Spice Cafe this fall because it is my book club book of the month. If you don't know, I host a book club on my Instagram. I pick a book every 2 months for us to read and discuss. It's very low pressure, chill vibes, but if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. I would love for you to join. And since Pumpkin Spice is the first book in the series and that's our book club read, I definitely think I'll be reading this book very soon. Just read them as a little duology together, though I think there are more coming. I think I've already pre-ordered the third one. I think the third one is like a Christmas one and comes out in December, and I'm pretty sure I've already pre-ordered it, so definitely looking forward to that one as well. Now that I think about it, maybe those two aren't even on Kindle Unlimited. Or at least maybe the first one is, but this one isn't. Because I think I bought both of these, whether or not they were on Kindle Unlimited, but they're on Kindle. I still recommend them. Just go with it. Next, here is another Gilmore Girls vibes small town romance, and that is If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. And this is a book that I saw on TikTok, and it was marketed as literally Gilmore Girls, so I was like, click, let's do it. And so I rented that. I hopefully want to read this fall. I also just love the vibes of this cover. Are you kidding? They're so cute. This is a book, a small town romance that definitely is delivering on the Gilmore Girls vibes. If I'm not mistaken, it actually takes place in the 90s, which I feel would just really add to the ambiance of a cozy kind of romance. And it made me realize I don't think I've ever read a book that purposely takes place in the 90s, unless you count Harry Potter, and that's because it was released in the 90s. So I think it'll be a really interesting read to see how that kind of affects the storytelling. But if I'm not mistaken, he is a single dad, and he meets the main heroine and they start to develop a relationship. So I am really excited to give this one a try. Next, I have Cities of Smoke and Starlight by Allie Ernest, another one I saw on TikTok. What can I say? And this one is supposed to be a fun, steampunky fantasy story. I believe it's the first in a series, and when I saw it on TikTok, it was kind of marketed as an Anastasia vibe, with Anastasia and Dimitri. It kind of gave that vibe of those characters, and that's really all you need to tell me to know that I'm probably going to love this series. And I just really love the cover, and look, I judge a book by its cover. I can't help it. And I have really been in the mood for some more fantasy lately, so I think this would be a really fun book to give a try. And from what I could tell in the description, it just sounded like it would be a really magical and expansive world that I would love to just dive into and really get into the whole thing of it. I don't know how many are out in this series or if it's just the first one so far, but definitely looking forward to it. Next on my TBR is This Blood That Binds Us by S.L. Coakley. This is very, very high up on my TBR. This is a vampire series, a vampire romance series that I believe takes place in college, and it's all the fun of being a vampire series, but not necessarily all the dark, I mean, look at the cover, it's bright pink, not necessarily all the darkness and grittiness that a lot of the times will come with being a vampire story. This one, she has kind of marketed it as we've got a golden retriever hero, and that falls in love with this heroine, and we navigate the world of I believe he is the vampire, and that romance, but it's still got like the lightheartedness of being a college romance, but just with like the added mystical element of it also being a vampire romance. And I have very much been in my vampire romance era lately, and I want to read all of the vampire romances. So this is actually next on my TBR once I finish my current read. This is my next book that I want to read because I am so excited about it. Next, I have Flawless by Elsie Silver. I believe this is the first one. Don't quote me on that. Oh, I'm getting text messages. But I am very excited to read this series. Both my best friend and my sister have read this entire series and have been trying to get me to read it. And this is a book that has been on my radar for years now. I just haven't picked it up. They've got new covers. This is the Kindle edition, still has the old cover. I kind of like the old cover better, but whatever. I think they sound so fun. It is a contemporary romance series that's got like a cowboy small town element to it, and I think it'll be so fun to read. I don't actually know like many of the tropes that show up. I know there are some age gap romance tropes within the series. Maybe a surprise pregnancy, but don't quote me on that. But I'm just excited to give it a try. And for multiple people in my life to like be who aren't necessarily like the biggest romance readers to say that they love the series probably means like I'm going to absolutely adore it. So I'm definitely very excited to give it a try. Next, I have Dukes and Deke by Tori Jean. This is one I saw on Instagram recommended by a friend of mine, and I am very excited to give it a try. It has such a beautiful cover, and I'm just really excited to see what an interesting story it is. I can't remember, I want to describe it well. I don't want to just make up what I think I remember it's about. But this is one that that's what I thought. It is a, I knew it had some like chronic illness stuff, and I couldn't remember what. It has endometriosis representation as. Okay, this is like my third or fourth time trying to get through this video, trying to film it, but having some technical difficulties, but I'm going to get through it this time. Anyway, I'm talking about, for my TBR, Dukes and Deeks, which I actually don't know if I'm pronouncing that second word right, but by Tori Jean. This is the cover. Come on, focus. Super cute cover, and at a glance you think it's a historical romance, but it actually is a contemporary sports romance. He is a hockey star, and like I was saying, there is chronic illness, endometriosis rep, and they are in a small town where there is a Jane Austen fair happening, hence the historical romance looking cover. And so they are friends to lovers, brothers best friends. I am just so excited for this. I think it looks super cute, and I've heard really, really good things about this author, so cannot wait to give it a try. Next on my list, my TBR, this is called Date with Danger by Janessa Faith. Adorable cover. This is one I saw on TikTok because that's where I get all my book recommendations apparently. And this one was being marketed as the vibes of Psych, which if you don't know, Psych is like top 3 favorite shows of all times. It is the first show I ever watched on streaming, the first show I ever got into, other than like Vampire Diaries. And even then, that was probably around the same time. But it is like one of my #1 shows. I love it, love it, love it so much. I actually just finished a rewatch recently, and Sean Spencer, love him. Even more importantly, Sean Spencer and Jules, their relationship is such a fundamental part of the show and something I greatly enjoyed watching. And this is a romantic suspense kind of with the vibes of them bringing in the comedy part. So I am very excited to give this a try. And I just think it will be so much fun. I think it'll be a really funny read, which is definitely something I tend to lean towards when it comes to like romance books. So very much looking forward to reading this one on Kindle Unlimited. Next, I have the Nevermore Bookstore by Kerrigan Byrne and Cynthia St. Aubin. This one has been on my list for a really long time, and I actually barely remember what it's about other than it's got like a paranormal-y vibe, and it's just like bookstore, cozy, autumn, that kind of thing. And I know Kerrigan Byrne is a really popular author, and I think it's a part of a series, Townsend Harbor. I don't remember what, let me look it up. I don't remember what paranormal creatures are in it. I want to say vampires, but I could be completely wrong about that. But I have never read a Kerrigan Byrne, even though she's so popular. I definitely want to get into more of her books, because I think like she's just one of those authors that's like so, in my head at least, she's like so fundamental to the romance community, and I haven't read one of hers before, so I definitely want to get into it. This is a coastal small town romance. She's a bookstore owner. Maybe it's not even really paranormal. Maybe it's just like that vibe. But I don't see in the summary that there's actually paranormal creatures. I thought there was, but I guess that's just the vibe of the cover and it's not actually there. Lastly on my list for Kindle Unlimited books, I have Wait With Me by Amy Dawes. I talk about Amy Dawes a lot. It really does not want to focus. There we go. And this one is one that I have started but didn't finish because I got distracted by something else, like wasn't in the mood for a contemporary at the time. I love Amy Dawes so much. She is one of my favorite authors. I've only read 2 of her books, but I adore her books that I have read, so I am so excited to eventually pick this one up. This is about a character who is an author, and the only place that she's finding inspiration to write is in the like waiting room of a car dealership, tire shop type of place. And so as she's writing there, she gets to know one of the mechanics and they develop a relationship. So I'm so excited to give this one a try because I love Amy Dawes. So that is my TBR. I am so excited to get to some of these eventually. I don't know when, but I always have a never-ending TBR. But Kindle Unlimited is such a great way to find more books, new authors, all that sort of thing. So I hope you liked this video. Let me know what some of your books on some of your favorite books on Kindle Unlimited are, and I can't wait for my new camera batteries to come because this one not doing great. But I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.